God is a barbaric, bloodthirsty, unjust, genocidal maniac. The words of militant atheist and self-confessed God-hater Richard Dawkins? No, these are the words of Muslim fundamentalist Paul Belial Williams in a recent comment thread to a video he posted on YouTube. According to Paul Williams, because 1 Samuel 15 tells us that the Amalekites, who waylaid the children of Israel after they departed from Egypt, because the Amalekites were consequently put under the ban, that is, they were devoted to destruction, including their women, children, and animals, something in perfect accord with the principle of lex talionis. Nevertheless, because of this, the God of the Bible is unjust. Now, never mind that this line of argumentation presupposes that God is not the sovereign creator and owner of everything, who has the absolute right and moral authority to do with his creatures, in this case fallen creatures, as he in his perfect justice sees fit, including the moral authority not only to execute his wrath on guilt-ridden sinners, but even to delegate the authority to do so to his servants, whom he deputizes for that end. What I want to point out here is not the incipient atheism that underlies Paul's argumentation, but show that while Paul is playing turncoat here, he ends up condemning his own false god, who very much claims to be responsible for the sort of thing that Paul Williams abominates. Now, let's be clear what Paul's argument is. Premise 1 can be stated this way. It is unjust to decree the killing of women, children, and animals. Premise 2, the God of the Bible decreed the killing of women, children, and animals. Conclusion, therefore, the God of the Bible is unjust. Now, granting that the form of the argument is sound, what this means is, if it can be shown that Muhammad's putative deity in fact decreed or ordered the killing of women, children, and animals, then Muhammad's putative deity is, by Paul's criteria, a barbaric, bloodthirsty, unjust, genocidal maniac. Now, proving from the Islamic sources that the God of the Quran is very much in the business of directing his servants to kill animals, women, and children is child's play. For the sake of brevity, I'll simply consider what Allah confessed to Muhammad in Surah 17, verses 4 through 7, which read as follows. And we gave clear warning to the children of Israel in the book that twice would they do mischief on the earth and be elated with mighty arrogance, and twice would they be punished. When the first of our warnings came to pass, we sent against you our servants, given to terrible warfare. They entered the very inmost parts of your homes, and it was a warning completely fulfilled. Then did we grant you the return against them. We gave you increase in resources and sons, and made you the more numerous in manpower. If you did well, ye did well for yourselves. If ye did evil, ye did it against yourselves. So when the second of the warnings came to pass, we permitted your enemies to disfigure your faces, and to enter your temple as they had entered it before, and to visit with destruction all that fell into their power. Now, these verses speak of a warning given to Israel by Allah, who said they, the children of Israel, would be guilty of mischief in the earth on 2 occasions, and both times they would be punished for it. The punishment meted out against them would not come directly from Allah, but through secondary means. In this case, by those whom Allah would send, and whom he dubs our servants. Furthermore, these hand-picked servants sent by Allah would be given to terrible warfare and would visit with destruction all that fell into their power. Who are these servants of Allah? What were the 2 occasions that are being spoken of? What happened on these occasions? What did these servants of Allah do when fulfilling the purpose for which he admits he sent them? Well, turning to the Islamic commentators, we find our answers. The first instance refers, according to the commentators, to the Babylonian invasion of Israel under Nebuchadnezzar, and the second to the Roman invasion under the crown prince Titus. Ibn Abbas interprets these verses as follows. And we decreed in the Torah for the children of Israel in the Scripture, ye verily will work corruption, you will indeed commit acts of disobedience in the earth twice, and you will become great tyrants. It is also said that this means you will be mightily overpowered. So in the time for the first of the two punishments, it is also said that this means the first of the two corruptions, came, we roused against you slaves of ours, Nebuchadnezzar and the host of the king of Babylon, of great might, of tremendous fighting skills, who ravaged your country, who killed you in the streets in the middle of your country, and it was a threat performed, a decreed threat that surely takes place, that if you do such and such, I will do this to you. Thus they stayed in captivity of Nebuchadnezzar for 90 years until Allah helped them with Koresh from Hamadan, Persia. Then we gave you once again your turn against them through Koresh's defeat of Nebuchadnezzar. It is also said that this means, and we had pity on you, and thus gave you once again your turn against them. And we aided you with wealth and children, and made you more in soldiery. We made you more in men and numbers, saying, if you do good, if you confess Allah's oneness, you do good for your own souls. The reward for that is paradise. And if you do evil, and if you associate partners with Allah, it is for them in like manner. The punishment for that is upon them. They remained in comfort, merriness, abundance of men and numbers, and triumph over the enemy for 220 years, until Allah roused against them Titus. So when the time for the second of the judgments came, the second of the two punishments, or the second of the two corruptions, we roused against you others of our slaves to ravage you by killing you and taking you as captives. That is, Titus, the son of Espianos, the Roman, and to enter the temple, Jerusalem, even as they entered it the first time, even as Nebuchadnezzar and his host entered it the first time, and to lay waste all that they conquered with an utter wasting. Similar comments can be found in other Muslim writers since the time of Ibn Abbas, all the way down to Maududi, Yusuf Ali, Muhammad Assad, and countless others. Now, anyone and everyone acquainted with the Babylonian and Roman invasions and destructions of Israel is alike acquainted with the fact that the terrible warfare and killing and utter destruction encompassed not only fighting men, but non-combatants, inclusive of the infirm, old and young, women and children, and yes, even animals and trees to boot. And so, looking back on Paul's syllogism and plugging in our findings, here's what we have. Premise 1. It is unjust to decree the killing of women, children, and animals. Muhammad's Allah decreed the killing of women, children, and animals. Conclusion. Therefore, Allah is a barbaric, bloodthirsty, unjust, genocidal maniac. And that, according to the reasoning offered by Paul Williams. I'll be looking forward to your reply, Paul. But when you give it, make sure that you speak loudly and clearly, because with the bad acoustics over there in London and all the hecklers around, it might be a little difficult to hear you over here all the way in Texas.